You know, we get to maybe bring back a little blue guy.
When it comes down to it, end of the day, why not? That should be our slogan. Why not?
I mean, yeah, I imagine he'll pop in.
Yeah.
Man, going back to the goodbye YouTube video, I gotta admit, it's been quite the past few days on this channel because I didn't know I would do such a number of videos about Watcher in general. But going back to the initial update video from Friday, the one that started this entire ordeal, the one moment of the video I wanted to highlight was just 5 seconds that really cut me to the core as a Watcher fan, and that's the fact that the professor had to get dragged into this Watcher TV mess. And looking back now, I could just laugh at it because of the fact that it felt like the guilt tripping of, hey, we know the paywall is going to deter you or some of you from wanting to come over to Watcher TV, but guess what? You know that thing, that one show everybody is crazy about, the one guy, the Watcher mascot. He's the Olaf of Watcher. He's the Pikachu of Watcher. He's the, you know, the Mickey Mouse of Watcher, the Baby Yoda of Watcher. We're talking about the professor. I mean, when I go back to last Friday when this whole thing started, I kept thinking to myself, aside from the confusion of why this is even happening, you know, because the whole the advertisers and pleasing them, not wanting to compromise our content, wanting to increase the production value and the overall quality to make TV level content. Oh, okay, that's confusing enough. And then the gut punch of just not even seeing this coming. There's no easing into it. It's basically like, you know, let's say you're in school, you know, and you let's say you're not too crazy about school, but there's one class you go to, just one class, insert subject here, but you really like the teacher. The teacher is really cool. They're, you know, understanding, attentive. They're one of the main, if not the only reason you look forward to going to school each day, because they make your day, your life a little bit easier, knowing their class is going to be the one time of the day where it's like, hey, this is like my comfort food of school, my comfort television show of school. But then the next day you go into school, you have a new teacher, and then let's say the principal, whoever comes in and says like, so and so quit, and it's like, wait, what? So now I'm stuck with this. No, this isn't right. No, this, there has to be a mistake. That's exactly what it felt like on Friday when this whole thing started. But I think people who are upset and are still upset, because I've done a number of videos on this. So the video like, can you forgive Watcher? And I even did a poll in the community tab of how you feel about it. Like, yeah, I'll forgive them, but I'm not going to look at them the same. No, they broke my trust. And then there, you know, those who feel like, screw it, I'm still getting free content because they backtrack. So it is what it is. But for me, I said, you know, a few days ago, when it comes to Watcher content, I really don't rock with it on the same level as the Buzzfeed days, because the ghost files, mystery files aren't that. They don't do it for me the same way BuzzFeed Unsolved did with the true crimes and supernatural, especially true crime. But Ruining History, love that show. So then to see Puppet History be like the next stage of that, an evolution of that series where Shane truly made it his own apart from Ruining History, and not just giving us educational content, but having fun guests on. But at the same time, there was the saga of the genie. It wasn't just a silly puppet. Sorry about the squeaking chair. I know people comment about that. The puppet giving the information, the professor giving us information. There was a story involving him and Ryan over the past, well, the entire series, which I thought was pretty cool. But overall, it felt like subliminal messaging to, and just the guilt trip of, hey, the little blue guy. Yeah, you know, the guy that everybody loves. And let's be real here. Let's be real here. Without Puppet History, I don't think Watcher would be what it is today. You know, I think Watcher would still be successful, but Puppet History is what pushed it over the top. I mean, I have no doubt that Puppet History is played in certain school. Well, you know, it depends, because sometimes the episodes can get a little raunchy from, you know, time to time. But overall, I feel like they're just such well-crafted educational. It's like PBS meets SNL in a way, in terms of the way that it's presented. But that show led to the popularity of the professor, and then his face is, if I remember the first time I went to the Watcher merch store. I think this is right when they had first launched the merch store, and it was like all this professor, you know, merch to buy. And I said, wow, it's like I really can't afford too much. I think at the time, if I remember correctly, I bought a mug. But then when they released the plush figures, I'm like, okay, I gotta scrape up some money to get one of these, and I ordered one immediately before they sold out, because I said, if nothing else, I want the dang professor plushie. Because I remember watching a YouTube channel where a fan actually created their own professor puppet. It was a how-to video, and it was very well crafted. I'm not really one for arts and crafts myself. I was never blessed with that kind of ability, but it was really, really, really well made. And then, you know, several months later, when Watcher themselves released a plushie, I was all for that. So yeah, to see the professor up there, honestly, I'm still not used to his new, I guess you could say, model, if you will, ever since the whole, oh, he got eaten by a dinosaur and then got reborn. But hey, the professor is still the professor. And to see him up there promoting the streaming service, like, hey, you know what? Why not? Why not? I mean, that was one thing to hear the professor of all people say this, but another to see that my little dude, he loves Doritos like me. And even better, I'm a picky eater. The only Doritos I eat are the regular ones, nacho cheese. And then the fact that the professor is eating the same kind of chip as me. I'm a grown ass man, and I felt some kind of way about the puppet being thrown into this. I know it's stupid, but man, I love that little blue guy. But the fact that, even going back to what I said last week, I said, I'm not getting a subscription for Watcher TV. The only show I really rock with, in terms of one that I go out of my way to watch it as soon as it drops, Puppet History. I said, you know what? Maybe down the line, once they've released an entire season, an entire new season of Puppet History on the streaming platform, I will, you know, pay the $5.99 for a 1-month subscription. And then as soon as I finish watching all the episodes, probably even rewatch it. I mean, heck, if the streaming platform works like any other streaming platform, you pay for it for a month. Then if you cancel your subscription, they'll tell you, hey, well, you still paid for a month, so you have your account until such and such a day. Over that time, I'll probably just rewatch, you know, the episodes and whatnot, and then that'll be that until the next season of Puppet History. But yeah, to throw the professor in there, honestly, if you look at how Shane was talking during that segment of Goodbye YouTube, you could tell even he felt like, wait, do we really have to put the professor in there? I feel like it's going to cause even more, you know, just rage amongst the fans than our initial announcement. It's just like, goodbye YouTube, here's your last look at the professor. Can you imagine that? That would have been your last look at the professor if you didn't get Watcher TV? Well, technically no, because we would have gotten the first episode of the season of Puppet History on YouTube, but then the rest of the episodes would have been locked behind that paywall. So yeah, it's crazy to me that I was seeing some comments on the Goodbye YouTube video. People like, why did they have to slander the professor's good name by bringing him into this bullshit? Hasn't he been through enough? He's been, you know, killed and he got betrayed. You know, the genie came back. Satan got involved. His best buddy, Ryan, you know, threw him under the bus. Then he got eaten. Then he got resurrected. And then he just barely survived an instinct level event. And then he's been brought back. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's crazy to me because it just goes to show how Puppet History is a reflection of Shane's hard work. You know, let's step away from the backlash these dudes have gotten over the past, you know, several days. But Puppet History, just the work that goes into it. Shane from the songs to the writing, of the dialogue, which honestly is probably mostly ad-libbed. And if it is, I don't blame them. It's just that authentic. It just goes to show that the professor is the Elmo for adults. Like Elmo was the big thing back in the 90s and whatnot. Because I remember as a kid watching Sesame Street. I remember when Tickle Me Elmo came out. It was kind of funny because I grew up, when I first started watching television as a kid, Big Bird was the Sesame Street puppet above all puppets. But then Elmo just had an explosion of popularity and he became the top dog or top monster puppet or whatever. And I feel like the professor is the same way in terms of being that for adults, but also kids, because, Sesame Street has changed so much nowadays. Like, I think it's 20-30 minutes as opposed to a full hour or 40 minutes as it was when I was a kid. But yeah, the professor, oh man, I just feel like even when I see the new season of Puppet History, I'm going to look at him kind of side eyes like, you sold out, man. Come on. If anything else, you would think the professor would be throwing shade at the Watcher crew. But then again, you sometimes forget that the professor is literally attached to one of the of the people who were on the couch. So I don't know. I know. Look, I'm almost 12 minutes in, and I think this is a ridiculous video. But I think it just goes to show how, we fans have the right to be hurt because the professor didn't need to be dragged through the mud in this entire ordeal with Watcher TV. I mean, it's just something else. And if I remember correctly, didn't the video start off with a close-up on the television screen, and then you got like a photo of the professor on the top of it? Or at the very least when Ryan got up and then it switched over to the couch with the three guys on there. But yeah, don't try to guilt trip me like that again, man. Just don't. Because the professor, he's an icon. He's the mascot. He's your Pikachu. He's your, Baby Yoda. All the references I made earlier in the video. So how did you feel when you saw the professor on screen? Because I ain't gonna lie, I kind of gasped. I'm like, it too, professor? Just like you of all people. I don't know. So with that being said, that's all I have. This is probably going to be my last Watcher related video for a while, because at this point there really isn't anything else, for me to say, at least not right now. I might check on their, what's it called? Social Blade. There are a few websites out there where you can go and check on the stats of other, content creators, because I'm curious to see if their subscriber count on their channel will go up again. I think it probably will once they start uploading the new content sometime next month. But at least their last couple videos have gotten over 1 million views, the Goodbye YouTube and the update video. But yeah, hopefully they can try to bounce back from this. I just know that based on the hundreds of comments I've gone through and replied to, yes, what is it? It is 2:10 on April 24th. At this point, I have read and responded to every single comment on every single Watcher video I've posted since last week. So I have read some very well thought out, just well put comments expressing people's legitimate hurt, why they feel the way they feel, them not going back to Watcher because this, that, and the third. And, there are some other topics I could cover, like the Stephen Lim, backlash. I don't really follow the guy in terms of, even when he was on Buzzfeed, I didn't really watch a bunch of his content, so I don't have any sort of like the betrayal. But I've just heard some, oh wow, they've pulled up some, I guess you could say, controversial, dare I say, cancel worthy tweets and comments and stuff. I honestly don't feel like getting into all of that. I mean, like, if it comes to the point where he's like dropped his CEO or something, maybe I'll cover that, but I'm not really trying to, do all that. I did do a brief video on the Sarah Tumblr post because a lot of people were talking about that, and I missed some things. People were like, yo, she even like, used some, some tags like Mr. Beast and whatnot. I'm like, wait, what? So there's that. But yeah, let me put it this way. I will leave the door open for you. If there are any other like Watcher related topics on this entire ordeal that you would like me to cover, let me know in the comment section below, and I will look into it and see if I can, scrape together something to talk about. I've just really appreciated those who are like, hey, you know what? I found your channel from one of your Watcher videos. One person said they literally watched all the Watcher content I've posted, which is pretty impressive, because some of them videos, I fear I'm rambling, but at the same time, people say I come across as genuine because I'm a legit fan, which I feel love from that, because like I said, everybody and their mother can jump aboard a viral topic, especially if it's a hate train related topic, and do, just pieces about negativity and whatnot. But it comes from a different place when you're a legitimate fan, a customer, a consumer of that entertainment. I think, let's be honest here, nowadays, over the past few years, being anti-MCU has been like the biggest thing to catapult people into, YouTube stardom, or at least success in some measure, where anytime Disney breathes Marvel, you put out a video on it, you're going to get like tens of thousands, 100,000 of views, and eat well from that. But I just like to come up here, give my thoughts, in terms of, hey, here's why I feel the way I feel. Let's have a healthy discussion about it. And like I said, I've truly enjoyed reading all the comments over the past couple of days. So once again, if there are any other topics related to Watcher stuff, let me know. And I think as of right now, unless there are any comments that say, hey, could you cover this? And I'm like, you know what? I think I can. I probably won't bring up Watcher again until they officially launch Watcher TV sometime next month. And, if there's any kind of news surrounding that, I might, throw my hat in the ring and do a quick video. But if not, hey, I've done darn near probably over half a dozen Watcher videos at this point. So yeah, make sure you enjoy them on the channel. And once again, thanks so much. The channel is right around 12 subscribers from hitting 10,000 subscribers. We should hit 2 million views once my account updates sometime later tonight. And the channel, I have over 300 uploads as of yesterday. So hey, this channel is thriving. I've checked the numbers. The algorithm is in love with it. So am I. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this next season of Puppet History is the best one ever, even though I'm going to look at the professor a little bit differently. I'm really going to look at him differently. I'm just going to, you know what? Maybe I'll forgive the professor, because I'll just say like, hey, how dare you sit where he sat? Because this new the old professor, he would never have said, why not? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm taking this too seriously. Once again, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you all in the next video.